Bitter criticism with Sergeant Luna. Hello, Sergeant Luna. Look, I'm not throwing stones on her. I'm just playing with her. Look, I'm playing with all the dogs, but Luna is special. Somehow Mursi doesn't want me to play with Luna. Why not? Why not, Mursi? Mursi is a kind of defender. Can you saw? What about you, Milu? Anyway, well, Luna, as you know, will keep barking for more stones. Eventually I will throw some stone. I guess the best thing to do is throw some stones, isn't it? Because she's so demanding. I'm afraid about his husband. Will Luna marry someday? She's super hot. Wait a second there. As always, as usual, I have problems with the horizon. I should make a course about this, dude. How to fix the horizon. How to fix the horizon course. Look, today I had some message, I guess. Was not a message in the bottle. Is there? Just 1 second. Look, I had some message here. Look, this. Oh, I don't know if you saw this, but look, someone gave me a present. But I'm not sure if any day I will do skate, because I guess skating is dangerous. So yeah, I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but I will not skate. Not for me, I guess. Well, took me 3 minutes. We are so late today. But anyway, so here we go. We're gonna read some Timur Fomenko more. We're gonna read some more. Well, today the camera setup was not so great. So here we are to read some Timur Fomenko's channel. Timur Fomenko's news, which is my favorite. I can't deny, Luna. No, Luna, no. I love Timur. I love you, Timur. I love you. I guess. I mean, yeah. So now I will keep throwing her stones, just to keep her quiet. Quiet, motherfucker. Quiet. Oh no. I'm not throwing at her. And here we have January 4th. This was yesterday. Yesterday I read two news. Will Trump use North Korean nukes against China? What? I guess this is my news now. Now, I guess today there is more news from Timur Fomenko, but this is what I have now. December 23, 2023, last year. Home World News. Will Trump use North Korean nukes against China? If re-elected as US President, the Republican is reportedly considering abandoning the policy of disarming Pyongyang. By Timur, Fomenko, a political analyst. Will Trump use North Korean nukes against China? It's a good title because the first thing you think is explosions, but he was referring to politics, geopolitics. Yeah, geopolitical analyst. Does it? That's why I love Timur Fomenko. He's so soft. He's so smooth. Donald Trump is already preparing a new foreign policy doctrine should he manage to get elected president again. It is reported that this time around he aims to more brutally push the mantra of America first and sideline the influence of neoconservatives in his administration. Luna is quiet today. That's impressive. This has come with chatter about many radical foreign policy proposals, including one that recently surfaced in Politico, claiming that he will be prepared to officially legitimize North Korea as a nuclear weapon state and allow it to keep its capabilities. I'm not in the understanding by now. I love dogs. They are chasing the stones, understand? Anyway, I'm not making a war against dogs. During Trump's first administration, he pursued a policy of maximum pressure against the Democratic People's Republic, North Korea anyway, whereby he bluffed the threat of military action and severely tightened sanctions in order to try to force North Korea to negotiate. This eventually resulted in a number of summits between Trump and Kim Jong-un, which ultimately failed to yield any substantial results. Primarily because such diplomacy was undermined by hardliners such as John Bolton, who believed Pyongyang's unilateral capitulation was the only acceptable outcome. As such, it was remained official US policy to demand the complete denuclearization of North Korea. This politically correct doctrine was remained consistent even though such an outcome has become impossible by this stage. Just as Kim Jong-un, who just this Thursday launched a successful test on the Wonsan-18 ICBM capable of reaching anywhere on the American homeland, the North Korea has repeatedly stressed that its nuclear weapons are the indispensable key to defending its own national sovereignty, and it is a strategy that, while being costly in terms of sanctions, has nonetheless paid off in successfully establishing a deterrent. Still don't get it. I'm still don't get. Well, this is just the introduction, The news will come anytime soon in the next paragraph, for sure. Mercy is chasing Luna. Luna is chasing stones and Mercy is chasing nothing. She's chasing ghosts. But I love Mercy. You know, Mercy still have nightmares. I guess because of some bad experience on the street. And well, Luna, I don't know if Luna has nightmares, but she's super okay. The only thing, Luna don't trust people, but that's I guess Luna is completely right about that, you know. I guess even humans can't trust humans. That was for free. That was just a reflection. But anyway, let's back to the next paragraph. As such, it has remained the official US policy to demand the complete denuclearization of North Korea. I just read that. However, what if the US instead gave up on pushing for denuclearization and instead offered to legitimize North Korea's nuclear program? Could a future Trump administration be planning to do this once and for all, with perhaps the underlying strategic goal of giving the North Korea incentives to become more antagonistic to China? Its biggest backer so far is its bigger backer, not baker. Anyway, who bake you. Of course, the North being such a vehemently anti-US state and proclaiming America as the ultimate enemy, this appears to be an absurdity at first glance, especially seeing as it is totally reliant on China. But not all is what meets the eye. First of all, North Korea is relying on China only because it has no other option. The North Korea owes no true loyalty to Beijing, even with ideological ties. As a country, North Korea operates on a mantra of extreme self-interest, which will happily play as many countries as it can against each other in order to maximize benefits for itself, promoting a singular view of its own leadership and agenda. North Korea exploited the Sino-Soviet split in the 60s to acquire aid for itself. On this premise, Pyongyang will be very happy to gain material incentives from the US and have its nuclear status legitimized. But this does not mean the plan is without strategic flaws. It's difficult to imagine that North Korea will be persuaded to abandon its demand that the US withdraw from South Korea, or to quit seeking to one day dominate and reunify the Korean peninsula on its own terms. Likewise, how will North Koreans also feel about such empowerment of what they see as a dangerous and aggressive neighbor? There are so many dilemmas in Trump's proposal that could dangerously undermine the status quo and effectively empower the North Korea to push for more in its demands on a long-term basis. The US sticks to its current position over nuclear weapons because it is fully aware that formally ending the Korean conflict will delegitimize its security architecture and presence on the peninsula, and will increase calls for the Americans to leave. There is a strategic and military incentive in keeping North Korea as an enemy and maintaining a policy that only accepts it should summit on American terms. sure, Trump probably could use the North Korea as a Tito state to place strategic pressure on China, but it cannot be removed from the equation of the Korean Peninsula's future and how it will affect the US role there. It's nice. I like it, the Tito comparison. There is no possible scenario whereby the North Korea becomes a US ally in conjunction with the South forging an opposition to China. Thus, Trump's critics will argue that granting the North Korea legitimacy on its nuclear program will be appeasement that will allow North Korea to vastly expand its capabilities and become an even bigger problem in the long term. And we know from many precedents that North Korea will happily U-turn on any agreement if sees fit when it gets upset or political circumstances change. This proposal does give us a peek into the chaos that could emerge in a neo-Trump world. Well, I didn't understand why. I didn't get why North Korea should be an American, not ally, but should be sympathetic to the United States. It's funny because Mursi, I will show you this. Mursi is trying to beat Luna in the running. Look. she just wants to, you cannot see there, but look. Mursi is just trying to run faster than Luna, that's it. But for me it doesn't matter, you know. I love Mursi anyway. Luna is trying to impress me, yeah. Woo! Oh, I missed that. Oh no, Luna, where are you? No, Luna, no. Well, that was the exclusive. That was the back of the scenario. You know, I had my own gardens, and now I will do some yoga. Woo! What a crazy news channel. What the hell is this? We are doing yoga now. Why? Because yoga is good for people. Ah, okay. What a strange program, dude. I guess that's it. You know, I was doing this on Facebook, and now I'm doing this as a commercial for bitter criticism. Well, my criticism on this article I just read is I will heard this myself to try to understand why North Korea will be a US Trump, just like India, you know. As yesterday we read here, India, I guess US is done. India will never be a close ally to United States. It's too, India is too populous. It's too complex. India is too complex. There's too much people there, and it's too corrupt. Who knows? People like Pepe Escobar are telling that India will be a BRICS ally. that for India is more important to be a BRIC ally in the future, in the near future. Oh yeah, the yoga. That's fine. Oh, and well, that was all. That was all the yoga. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm sorry for this, but nobody can stop me here. Look, I will write here. I will write bitter criticism. What about that? Bitter criticism right there. In that wall, I will write bitter criticism. And will be fabulous, I guess. will be a street journalism. What about that? Street studio. Yeah, this is my studio. You know, I guess these people in this country, they hate me so much because I'm different, that they will destroy this wall. They just hate me. December 18th, Home World News. This Asian nation is the key for the US-China power struggle. Vietnam has found itself in the position of kingmaker, being crucial for the plans of both Beijing and Washington for Asia, by Timur Fomenko, political analyst. This Asian nation is key for the US-China power struggle. Vietnam's president Vo Van Tho, right? Well, we have a photograph here, and China's President Xi Jinping at the presidential palace in Hanoi on December 13. Chinese leader Xi Jinping had just paid an official visit to Vietnam, where he met with the leaders of Hanoi's ruling Communist Party. She hailed the ties between the two countries and vowed to take them to the next level. While numerous business agreements were also signed. Such a move will seem obvious given the two countries are not only neighbors but share the same political ideology. However, their relations are more complicated than that. 3 months earlier, Vietnam was visited by US President Joe Biden, for all people, who succeeded in elevating America's relationship with the Southeast Asian nation to a strategic partnership. Then just weeks ago, Japan did the same thing. Then look at from this angle, Xi's overtures to Hanoi do not look as powerful, but rather represent one of a series of voices from larger powers seeking to win hearts and minds in Vietnam, a nation of geopolitical significance which will contribute to the outcome of the power struggle in the Asia Pacific. Although Vietnam is a communist state, this does not mean its relationship with Beijing is amicable. Well, of course, it is not openly antagonistic or hostile. Grassroots opinion in the country is wary of China because a great deal of Vietnamese history involves a power struggle to maintain its independence from the Chinese imperial dynasties. Vietnam, like many Asian nations, derived a great deal of cultural, philosophical, and technological capital from China. Yet its national identity was always being premised on being a distinctive nation from China and not being politically dominated by it. Ideology is not relevant here. Vietnam recognizes that China is its most critical economic partner. On the other hand, it is striving to avoid Chinese hegemony. This is not just historical, but modern as well. In 1978, China invaded Vietnam in order to break its alliance with the Soviet Union and assert dominance over it. Why are US politicians afraid of China's garlic? Oh no, don't read that. Not only that, the two countries also have rivals claims in the South China Sea, a contested waterway with critical shipping routes and resources. From Hanoi's consideration, this leads to a foreign policy of non-alignment, which seeks to core multiple foreign powers, including the US, to maximize its own strategic benefits. How, one may ask, can Vietnam possibly court the US given the history between the two? Can Hanoi trust Washington? Vietnam appears to be confident in its relationship with the US despite the scale of atrocities committed during the Vietnam War, because Hanoi won that conflict on its own terms and reunified the country. Given this, Washington is now returning to the table because it sees Vietnam as a partner to try and contain China. Sure, Hanoi has ideological and political reasons to be suspicious of it, and the White House can never be an ally. But what the US offers is a chance to accelerate Vietnam's own economic development and also increase its military leverage in the above mentioned dispute with China. Mursi and Tommy are playing. Mursi and Tommy are playing. They love each other. They like each other. Of course, Beijing sees this, and therefore, the resulting outcome is a struggle for Hanoi. Loyalty. This means, however, that China increasingly has to offer more to be allowed to be at the table and compete with the other powers, and also that Vietnam gets to set the terms on engagement and be the kingmaker. From the Chinese perspective, Vietnam is in fact an important aspect of the global trade and supply chain because it provides a mask to conceal the Made in China label to get around various trade restrictions and tariffs imposed by the US. Many Chinese companies are investing in Vietnam precisely because of this, which is why Chinese trade with ASEAN as a whole has surged to replace the trade with the US. Chinese companies build key parts of and components, ship them to their own factories in Vietnam, where assembly is complete, and the product then goes to the US. It creates the deception that Made in China is going away and allows the indirect Chinese trade with America to continue. But the integration of the Vietnamese and Chinese economies is accelerating. This is enough to keep the peace between the two countries. At present, given US military encirclement, China is not a strategic position to engage in confrontation with Vietnam, which is why she has chosen to throw everything in the name of diplomacy. Keeping Vietnam as a neutral and non-hostile neighbor is thus a core priority for China, especially given the fundamental foreign policy doctrine of the US to instigate division between Beijing and its neighbors as a means of containment. Vietnam, however, simply wants the best of all worlds, and it is certainly getting it for now. Well, that's it. I just gonna read 2 news a day, I guess, because of the sun, you know. I'm destroying my new laptop because I guess I will have a kind of layer above the keynote, the keyboard. And that was all for today. I will read myself this news to try to understand the details, especially the first one I read today, because I don't get it. What's gonna happen in North Korea? Why North Koreans want to be American allies? Is Timur Fomenko lying to us? Oh, my back's paining. I said my back's paining, but this exists? My back's paining. And that's it for now.